Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Flory Models, well, apocalyptic show. We're going to call it, I don't know what we want to call it. We don't want to call it anything with the C word, because we're totally avoiding it. But hello and welcome. We are now going to be live for the next sort of 2 hours. As I said before, we're going to have a range of these shows over the next few weeks whilst a lot of you are at home. Hopefully we can take your minds off it all a little bit and everything else like that. So don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when we will be online. Hello to everybody who's down in live chat in Floryland. There's loads of you down in there. So lots of you going on there. If you guys can give us a quick shout out to make sure that our levels are all good, you can hear us. We're all fine, and just like that is absolutely fine. Also, we are live with you on YouTube as well. So we're down in there. So good afternoon to everybody who's saying hello to us down in YouTube land as well. So if you don't know what we do, we are basically modelers with far too much time on our hands. So this is what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. Usually bit of modelling, bit of talk, bit of discussion, obviously answering any questions that you guys have got as well. So just feel free to post up any questions. Usual thing, as I said, via the usual social media, bits and pieces like that. And we're going to go for it. We've got a couple of groupie build type things we're going to be doing and talking about over the next, you know, a couple of hours here, and then ongoing with those, and we can show your work as well. And if you can hear a funny sound, that's a dog chewing a bone on the other side of the desk. Hopefully you can't hear that, but it sounds vile from this side. So yes, very good. Are we all good, gentlemen? That's you and you lot.
Yep.
Waking them all up.
It's definitely 8 bits on my side though today for some reason.
It is. I must admit, I think the internet is slowing with the amount of people clearly on it at the moment. That's the trouble.
I look at the live stream and it seemed to be alright, but yeah, for us seeing each other, it looks very 8-bit. John says could do with the volume up a bit, but
well, can't you turn the volume up? Why do we have to do ours? Just do yours. It depends. If one of us is quiet or one of us is loud, then obviously we do it. If it's just you, turn your volume up and make your way through. So then, guys, what have we been doing? What have you been doing today then?
I've been doing PE with Joe Wick and my daughter, and God, am I starting to feel it. So my other half is sort of the upper teacher, and I'm the sort of like PE teacher and playtime and stuff. So yes, we've been doing that. It's quite fun actually. It's a good laugh. So and apart from that, I have been cracking on with my Quattro deckled up and ready for a video. I'm hoping to get that in the tub wheels. All up and all the other bits and bobs, so yeah, it's been quite fun. And then I'm going to try this good old epic fail for me, but we'll give it a go if I can remember which camera it is.
Could we just check one thing? You guys haven't got this playing on another monitor or something, because it seems to be, well, it's cleared a bit now, but very laggy today. So if you've got it streaming, like a copy of this is suddenly gone live on a different window or tab, it will slow down your connection, guys. Just making sure.
And as you can see, look.
Yes, a buccaneer in a spray booth.
It is. So my plan is to try and get some white underneath today. So yeah, I'll leave that cam on. I know it's a bit of a dodgy angle, but it's the best I can do in the circumstance of how I've had to set it up in here. So yes, so that's what I've been up to.
Very good. Nathan's been very busy with part 2 of his tornado that went up the other day.
Yeah, I've not touched the tornado since. I've gone back to my Latin American group build. My F-16 is very close to the spray booth now.
Yeah.
My tornado's sitting here waiting for part 3. I think I'll probably in the next, so I'm trying to keep them all to half an hour. So I think in part 3 it'll basically be built. There'll be nothing left to show construction wise on that one. So that's good. Yeah. And apart from that, I've been digging flower beds even though I've got no flowers to put in them because the garden they're all shut now.
Finding definite stuff to do. Just to point out, Nathan's, this is it. If you haven't seen it, it's in Nathan's. I've got the one up there as well. It's in the same one. So you've got part 2 talking about obviously building the Tonka and all the interesting things about it as well, which I do have to say I didn't know anything about, and I noticed there's a picture down here, didn't see that earlier, of the glovey bits. I never knew it had that.
No, I mean I've discussed him before. I think the best thing to do is have them closed, because I don't think they got used very much, if at all.
Right.
But that's the old. So that's the one that's moved to South Wales now. That was at Bruntingthorpe about 2 or 3 years ago. That one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a high lift flap, but I've never seen it deployed in any sort of pictures really.
Very good. I must admit, I have never seen it before. Never knew it even had them, to be honest. So yes, definitely. But anyway, that's on there. So thank you very much for doing these as well, Nathan. They are absolutely fantastic to watch. And Andy, what have you been up to?
I've been carrying on with my MiG-21, which is pretty much ready for paint, to be honest with you. It's that way. All sort of like, yeah.
Is that right?
Getting ready and spending all day trying to talk into work and deciding whether I should be going to work or not.
Oh. They won't let him off. Let me just change your camera angle a bit. Hold on, let me just do this. So we can do this live and on the fly. It's clever, this. Look, there we go. That's probably a better look. Here we go. That's it.
Yes, so they reckon that we're an essential business and need to be open. So today was my day off anyway, but looks like I might be catching viruses and things off people at work. Nice.
Honestly, you're essential. Look, where else am I going to get wallpaper from?
Exactly.
Right, okay, so down here in live chat, we've got a few of you talking. Lawrence has got normal flu, so that's good. Phil, love your shows, updating builds, looking forward to today's show, as he'll be doing wargaming figures. Very nice indeed. That's it. A lot of you got normal flu. Good afternoons, everybody. All doing very well. Stay safe and well. Absolutely. Greetings from sunny Lincolnshire. A lot of people just saying hello. Hello from Bismarck, North Dakota. Wow. Sound is good on YouTube land. Thank you. Again, the quality, I think there's so many people streaming. That's the trouble. We're being gazumped by everyone. We were saying that we reckon they're going to turn down the bit rate to cope. Anyway, everyone seems to be doing very as well. Firing up the Quattro Mat from Lee.
Yeah.
Dan's building the Revell Tomcat in 1/32. Oh god, that's an old kit. Not a bad one though, still by today's standards, especially for the money. Good afternoon, we all hope we're well. A 5 minutes break from work, that's from Stuart. Afternoon, lots of you guys saying afternoon. Good afternoon, Phil. Ryan here. Question: when applying a gloss coat, do you coat the entire model or the areas just the decals? Depends. If it's a big job like I'm just about to do on this one, to be honest, everything will probably get a gloss coat because the decals are huge. If it's just a small one, to be honest, I don't tend to gloss anyway. If I'm using like lacquer paints as I am here, I'll normally polish. So I'll just take one of the polish the area, then decal onto it, and I'll do it that way. But again, hopefully your paint work is nice and smooth, so it doesn't have to be like a mirror, although it's obviously preferable, but you can get away with it, being just a very good smooth surface, okay? But if you feel it and it's rough, then you probably want to gloss it before you going in. But you can, of course, just do a localized area. I know some people who actually hand paint it on, if you're just doing a small area, but if you wanted to, if you're just doing roundels, things like that, it's probably quicker just to polish it with a stick than it is to actually gloss it. But if you wanted to, you could just spray gloss those areas and then afterwards come over with your satin or your flat coat or another gloss coat to seal your decals in before you move along with your next stage of weathering or anything else you're doing with it. But a lot of it is personal preference. You guys, what do you do?
Depending on what. Sorry, go on, Andy.
I generally do it all, to be honest with you. You got an overall surface that's the same, and then you can then back it down to the same, rather than having differing surfaces.
The thing is, also, if you've got things like walkways or loads of stencil data, you might as well just do the entire thing. You know, because if you've got that type of situation, so it just depends. If you got something like a piece of armor, for instance, I'm thinking that way, or you got something with limited sort of, you know, decals onto it, then probably just by hand. But if you're doing anything major like a Phantom, then you might as well just decal, you know, gloss coat the entire thing just to make it easier as well.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're doing, isn't it, really? But I think also it depends on what paints you're using. If you've got a nice satin finish, really, you might not have to, you know, and especially if you're using, what was the old extra enamels?
Yeah.
Super high glossy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Extra colour. Slimy, yeah. But yeah, I think it's just like, say, if you're using a flat paint, I think if you're using them AK real colours, yeah, you'll need to give it a proper gloss coat after, because they're really flat, aren't they? Well,
Yes.
they dry. Uber flat.
Uber flat.
Yeah.
Stuart says, afternoon guys, he's doing the chipping to his Tamiya Panzer II Africa Corps version. Phil just announced online photo competition. The winner gets a 1/32 Wingnuts wing kit. Oh, there you go. Edard have just done a competition. So hold on, Edard just announced a competition. Edard are giving away a Wingnuts wings kit. That seems a bit odd. You think they give away one of their own kits, but there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Philo is on the other side of Doncaster, so there you go. It's a local to the store. It's 1 AM here for Lee. What else have we got? The reason I asked is because in the process of brush painting my 1/72 Sopwith Camel. Again, Sopwith Camel, because you haven't got many decals on it, you might just want to do the area where your actual decals are than having to do the entire thing. But there again, if you're doing something with lozenge camo and all the rest of it, which is all decals, glossy entire thing. Loads of you from across the pond as well. Go on.
In chat, Archie Patton says he's building the sword gannet, which is strange because we're supposed to be doing rebel kits, aren't we? And I haven't got a rebel kit, so I thought I'd pick out the worst kit I've got in my stash to build. Lo and behold.
Ooh, look. Apart from it's upside down. Is that the Australian one?
Upside down. Rebel gannet. Sorry, not rebel gannet. The sword gannet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Go. Keep
Quite
you
looking
busy.
forward to starting it, actually.
Yes.
So that will definitely keep you busy.
Yeah.
Dan's saying, doesn't know where we can get decals for a 1/32 scale Tomcat Revel. To be honest, just get normal 1/32 Tomcat decals. They'll all be universally the same. You might have a limited bit of trimming around, but in that scale it's never a problem, usually for fit issues. But yeah, you're not going to find ones probably for the Revel one anymore, but there's plenty of 32nd Tomcat decals out there for most of the squadrons. So you should be alright that one. Lots of you saying first time they've seen the stream as well. So welcome.
Hello. I take it that
Jamie
says
says-
an A, is it?
It will be,
Is it
yeah,
A?
yeah, it is.
Is it raised panel lines and the like, or?
If I remember rightly, they're actually recessed on that one.
Alright.
The Rebel 32nd one, if I remember rightly, is actually recessed panel lines. I don't know. Tell us in chat, whoever it was who's doing it. Is it raised or recessed panel lines? I got a feeling it's recessed on that one, because again, it was the natural choice to do it if you wanted recessed panel lines against the Tamiya one, because the Tamiya one at that point was the A version, and that had raised panel lines.
Just quickly, Phil.
Yep.
Jamie says that could have done with those Kruger flaps. If we came across anything that started with F and ended in team, we ran away bravely. And then Cole says deactivate Gannet is excellent. And Matt says I'd buy a 48th Gannet. I know somebody who's selling me a 48th Gannet actually.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah. No, I changed my
I've tried
mind.
for years.
I changed my mind. I was actually, it was going to go in one of the auctions, and then I forgot with it.
Yeah.
I thought I'll never get one again. So if I do sell it, you know, I'll regret it. So
It's one
no.
of those I had in my stash and sold it years ago, and then so I, can't get them again.
I'm surprised you've not built that, Phil. You never. build an accurate, God, not an accurate miniature. What's it called? I can't think what's it called. Classic airframes.
No. The only Gannet I've ever done is the Rebel one.
All right.
72nd one. It's the only one I've ever done. Never done one, which is a shame because it's a good looking aircraft, really. We were saying it's probably one of the decent ones that looks good folded up.
Yeah.
So,
you ever
Rob McCluskey says that he's going to do the 72nd Matchbox Chinook. Any problems with it? I don't know. I've never built it.
That's good. It's just problem from start to finish, isn't it? Really. I don't know.
It's not great. I think I tried it years and years and years ago, and it never got finished. It was. I don't know how I'd cope with it now. Got a bit better skills, but
Yeah, now you're not 8.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't think it's great. Have you built one then, Nathan?
Years ago, but I think it's just kind of. I think all the Matchbox kits have just got problems because they're ancient and rubbish.
Don't say that. They're beautiful kits.
They were built for kids to put together easy, weren't they? So they've always been easy build kits, which is why they were the 3 colours and what have you. But they've never been easy interiors, haven't they? And so like easy to go together things. So.
I think it's just dead basic, isn't it? It's going to be that's the idea though of the build, doing it is just to have a laugh with it.
So what we're talking about here, guys, is that Matt actually got out. Have you got them there, or are they at the work?
No, the others at work. I have got a couple more though. If we need to go through the classic catalogue.
I think we will be needing to go through the classic back catalogue. I'll do a thing in a minute to make you full screen. But basically, the whole idea was this came up with me and Matt, one of our shows we were doing the other day, that Matchbox kits, and Matt happens to have all the back catalogue of the actual catalogues. So we were going through and reminiscing like you do, and we were saying that because I did one as a one-day build. We did a live show, one-day build. I think it was last year. Was it last year? Year before? So anyway, I did it and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a bit of a back reminiscence thing. And we were saying actually they were pretty good, but the box art was better clearly than the plastic. So we thought what we might do is we are going to do, starting tomorrow, is to have a Matchbox group build, and this is open to everybody. Literally everybody. And then what we'll do is over the preceding weeks, as this is all going on and we're doing these, you guys can then get involved with your builds, have fun with them, because that is all it's about. It's got nothing to do with what it looks like. It's a total just to have fun with it, and hopefully spark a bit of nostalgia, that we all remember fondness of Matchbox kits going through with it. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a Matchbox kit, as long as it's a really old one. That's the whole point to it. So we're all going to build something really old, so it could be probably Matchbox, it could be it could be Airfix, whatever, the old school stuff, right the way Frog, and just literally have some fun with it. And what we can do at the end of it, if you guys all want to send me your pictures, then I'll put together a montage video of it, and we can all reminisce of how wonderful the 70s were. Probably not, but by today's standards they were. Anyway, so that's the whole point to it. So I've done a couple of things with Matchbox. We've done a couple of videos, the old school stuff, and I have done, let me grab it for nostalgia. This is the one which members, you can go off and probably still remember seeing this one as the live build. We did it as a one-day build, just threw it together, had a little bit of fun with it, and actually recessed panel lines, it went together. Actually, it went together pretty good. And all the rest of it. So yes, that's the point. So we're going to be doing something like that, but I think we're going to open it up to be a little bit of everything. But if you want to join in with it, and then each day we can then all come together, see how we're getting on with them, put them through. We'll build them live along as we're doing this one as well, as we make our way along. So that's the general idea to it. But the main rule, or the only rule, is you've got to have fun doing it. We have no whinging, nobody complaining it's unbuildable, no one complaining about the fit issues. I don't want to hear any crap about the shape issues, and it's not correct, because clearly they are, and that is it. So yes.
A couple of guys have said they've got Hayfords to build.
Hayfords,
right? Yeah.
That's decent.
That should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But the whole point is literally just to have a real laugh doing this.
Yeah. One guy in chat also asked Phil, can you put Indian ink in into extra thin?
No.
To make it go black?
No, we tried it. I've actually binned it because it looked like grease, if I'm honest. It went horrible. Do not put Indian ink, any ink. We were talking about this. and we were basically saying, can you add anything to it? But I don't think you can, because I've tried a couple of things and none of it's really worked brilliantly. You can actually put in lacquer-based paints into it, but it's not. No, it's still not right, because it thickens it slightly, and it just, yeah, it's not perfect. I don't know what they do with it. I haven't tried food colouring because I haven't got any here, but you might be able to put food colouring in it. I don't know, but again, food colouring's water-based.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't found exactly what they use for it. But yeah, you can't put inks, because I've tried it. I've tried normal sort of Winsor & Newton ink up there. I tried Indian ink into it and everything, and it just turns horrible, turns nasty. So don't try it. Phil, are you able to ship washers and sanders? Yes, we are, but we are only shipping, and it goes for Matt as well. To be honest with you, there's a little bit of misinformation going around at the moment, because we are being told that there's a limited post service, and then next thing we're told that there's nothing wrong with it. But obviously Matt does the same as me. We actually physically take the parcels to the depots and the post offices and things like that. Okay, so obviously we are on lockdown, so we're probably only going to be doing it maybe twice a week to ship orders out now, because we are supposed to be good and staying in. So yeah. It's something me and Matt have actually been talking about probably all day since, well, Matt was on the ball. You phoned me at 7:30 this morning. You were up very early. So me and Matt were talking very early this morning. It was the first question was like, you know, can the businesses carry on? How is it going to work, and all the rest of it with PM Models, and obviously with Flory Models shipping orders. I'd say I'm actually waiting for a phone call back from my local post depot. Again, they're probably swamped, so I've left them a message to give me a call back, and then to get definitive answers on if it's pickups every day, if it's the same as normal, if it's a limited service, what's going to happen. The big thing is, though, obviously we can ship it that day or whenever we ship it, but after it leaves us, when it gets to you, we don't know, because obviously your local postal, especially abroad, might be affected, customs, things like that. As we know, there's a slowdown in those areas, so when you get it, it's going to be a case of getting it. But as far as we're concerned, we're still shipping, so order away. The guys are saying that the Matchbox build's still on, probably a little bit of delay there, so yes, they are, definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
It will be.
I am looking forward to starting mine.
I've got
bit of light beef.
I have got a Matchbox Buccaneer. Oh.
You know you wanted to.
I was going to say, he's just been through all that hell of the last one.
It's still sealed.
I wonder why.
Yeah, so I think I might be putting myself through hell just for entertainment purposes.
I think Keith's saying, I believe, I think mail order should be okay. Prime Minister said mail order for items if possible. The problem is it's just the post offices are prioritising old age people with getting the pensions and things, aren't they, and stuff like that, rather than sort of, and obviously limiting the number of people into shops. And I think Matt was waiting for a call back, aren't you, to see what they say.
To clarify, I mean, I spoke to where we do our drop and go today, and he said basically to protect his staff and limit people coming in, he said it's going to be for pensions, people topping up the electric, people topping up the gas, and banking who can pay in. So he's trying to just cut down on obviously just general post, but he's with everybody else. He's waiting to be confirmed from the post office or Royal Mail of what we can and what we can't do, and then when we know that, then we will decide what we're doing this end. He has said any outstanding orders, because I did say I've got some orders that's come in and outstanding, they are going to go. So really what we've decided as of the next probably, I don't know, 24, whatever, we're going to suspend any sales. So don't buy anything, because we don't know what's happening after that. We're on it and we'll let you know, but just be aware.
Paul says he was at the post office and was told off as it was not an urgent parcel.
So this is the grey area. We were just not too sure. As I say, I'm waiting for a phone call from my drop and go people as well just to say we can go and drop it off and that'll be it and it'll get sent. But as I say, it is one of those areas no one's actually given clarification, so it might be localized. Like Matt's clearly on a bit more tighter lockdown than I am down here. But as I say, we'll find out definitively. I've had orders through today. As far as I'm concerned, to be processed. I'm going to take them tomorrow. So at the moment, all my orders went out Monday, and then obviously not today. I'll do them tomorrow, not Thursday, and then I'll send them Friday. And then next week, I think we're going to change it over to maybe do it on Mondays and Thursdays, just to send them out. And then that way, we're limiting obviously what we send as in the time we're out as well, instead of doing it daily, which I think is fair.
Just if anybody's not aware, obviously if we can post from the PM side of the business, then we're relying on our suppliers to stay open as well, and we know one of them shutting today.
Yeah.
And we don't know, the others have said I have spoke to a couple of them and say they are staying open, but again, we don't know for how long, because they're not actually priority businesses to stay open.
Yes.
So if they shut, then obviously that's the supply, our supplies have gone. So really, we'll probably have to shut as well. So for stock levels.
If you're sending out rubber gloves and hand gel and stuff, it'd be different, isn't it? But
free rubber glove with every order.
Well, like the way I look at it, we're doing actually a service for the nation for the mental health.
Well,
Keeping people busy and occupied and stopping them getting bored, So
but apparently Sports Direct wear as well.
They were saying it's because they sell exercise equipment and bikes, they should be allowed to stay open. Whereas bike shops are allowed to stay open because they're selling bikes.
Yeah.
But Sports Direct also sell bikes, so they said you should be able to stay open and sell exercise equipment. So, but obviously the powers that be didn't agree with them.
No.
To be honest, after my PE lesson this morning, I'm a bit gutted because I was going to buy myself a new sports bra.
He was getting nipple chafe.
My moves were getting in the way.
Amazon is your friend.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah.
Right, so we have Speedy Birdie says, my wife got me the Edard 148 scale Mark 22-24, which would be the Spitfire, for me doing whilst I'm stuck indoors. Any tips for working with resin? Be safe, wear a mask, wash your hands. No, you do. But literally, resin's not a problem. Resin is just one of those things where when you're cutting it off the parts, off the blocks and that, just remember it's quite fragile. It has a habit of shattering. So, cutting with a razor saw, things like that for taking blocks off, and then sand them down gently, and then just treat them literally like you would plastic. We often get asked about washing down resin as if, you should get soap and water. Most modern companies don't have problem with release agent. It's not like they're using pure silicone like a lot of short run companies do. So, but usual thing, if you want to wash it beforehand, soapy water, warm, not hot, with a brush, just give it a whiz around, run it under the tap, and then let it dry naturally. It's probably the easiest way because you might break bits off again. Okay, on a towel, give it a couple of hours to dry off, and then just again cut it off the blocks and then use it. Priming it, you're going to prime it exactly the same as you do it with plastic or anything else. Gluing it, obviously CA glue is probably most people's choice for putting resin down, but if you wanted to, you could use PVA glue as well, strong ones, and obviously epoxy resins, but most people use CA glue, super glue, for popping it in. But as for working with it, you just treat it exactly the same as you would with plastic.
Yeah. That is like, say, modern resin now is nothing like the old stuff, is it? So,
No.
And to be fair, Edard resin normally fits as well. You don't normally have to do a lot of sanding and shaping to get it, where it's supposed to be. So
Yes.
it should be fine. It should be fun.
Definitely.
David Hirsch says, hi all, you were previously talking about Flory model tracks. I've gone on the internet and a very simple trick, it's a very simple quick method. You get 24 times 6 staples, bend one end straight so it's L shape and push it into the staple into the joint, no drilling and very quick and easy. Regards, Dave Hirsch. Yeah, I've seen people do that before, to be honest with you, but sometimes you still have to drill them because they get a bit filled in, don't they? Sometimes you still have to drill a lot of them out, but yeah.
Though, isn't it?
again, the tracks, it's one of those things. I think some of the older ones get a little bit, the moulds get a bit flashy and a bit around the holes and things, where some of the more modern ones I've done, I've never had to do it, I've never drilled them, I've just been fine with them. So it does depend on which ones. I think the longer in the tooth ones, shall we say, maybe need a bit of cleaning out. So
what were the ones we were looking at, Matt?
I've got some here. I bought some, haven't I?
You did?
Yes, I've got some froze. I've got some froze, and I've got some Master Club.
Yeah,
Master
like the
Club,
Master Club ones.
They're really nice, the Master Club ones, and to be honest, they've expanded their range by quite a lot now. So I would recommend them first, and then obviously, if you can't get what you need, go for the froze. But they do make a hell of a difference when you're doing armour. And the fiddly, they can be a pain in the backside, but honestly, once they're done, the weight of them makes them look more realistic. And obviously, being metal, if you burnish them as well, pour them in some burnishing fluid, or probably Coca-Cola will do the same job, or Pepsi or whatever, just to get that sort of rusty effect. Then, it works a treat, to be honest. Highly recommended.
Yeah, no, I like those ones.
Just a quick one here, Phil. So I'll read two of them out together because they're both sort of like fit together, really. But Neil says, Matt, Phil, what are the PM's plans of staying open during lockdown? And then Keith says he's had an email from Nick Reed, Group Chief Executive of the Royal Mail, saying that they will try and keep things going, ask people to obey hygiene practice of keep the distance, hands washing, etc.
Yeah, well, that one I had as well. That one from Royal Mail was a standard one that got sent out. I had that one as well, saying that they were going to try and keep it as well, but please, as to say, hygiene and all the rest of it. That's the one I've seen. But again, I think if that's a big one, but if it's your local post office with your local postmaster, it's slightly different. Them, I suppose they can make a decision on what they want to do. So. Again, we will find out a way, but as far as we're concerned, we'll do it as long as we can, and then if we can't, then unfortunately we're just like everybody else, and we will have to shut down. But for the moment, as far as we're concerned, every day is a school day.
It's like Matt's still got to travel to work, and do they class it as essential travel to work? Is it an essential business? I don't know.
Well, I have to travel. I have to walk downstairs.
Down the stairs.
If I go out to the unit, that's just behind here.
The garden. The longest commute in the world.
You class that as your exercise.
To be honest with you, I think by either tonight or definitely tomorrow, it'll be black and white what we can and we can't do, because they need to do it.
Yeah.
So everybody knows where they stand, and that's it. And once we know that, we know where we stand, and then we'll make that decision. So
I think a lot of people are going to work on the presumption that they haven't said they can't, because it's not a shop that's closing down. Like, they don't sell TVs and they don't sell clothing, which is basically what he said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't going to work because they don't know what to do, and it's just a bit up in the air at the moment. So
yeah. It is.
David's posted this twice. I got lost in ether. The first one says, Phil and Matt, I would order my stuff from Flory Models and PM Models. However, due to lockdowns and postal shipping being delayed, stop moving. One thing, however, in Manila and Luzon and the rest of the Philippines going on lockdown, my post office is closed till 12th of April. Hope you understand.
Fine.
So when it gets out of the UK, it's a bit of a lottery, isn't it? When it's going to get through. So
yeah. At the end of the day, this is going to go away at some point and blow over. We've just got to ride it out and come out the other side of it. So that's why we're here, to do some modelling and take our minds off it, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Chris has asked a quick question about the forum, whether we can set up a Matchbox area.
Yes, we can. We'll just put in a general. I'm not going to do all the subcategories for it. We'll just chuck it all in one, and we'll pop one in. Again, this one is sort of going to run as well with the Easter one. Normally we do the Easter thing, so this will be part of it, and it'll all be sort of rolled into one, I think. But yes, we will definitely have a one for everyone. Neville says the bases with the Matchbox kits were really good for the vehicles, which they were. That's
Yeah,
why
the arm kits
certain
are
one of
really
us has
good.
got one of them ready to go. Look,
Yeah.
he's
There
only
you
got it
go.
for the base.
I brought it back special, so I've got the one with the desert base. So I'm
George
really quite-
says, has anybody built the Rebel 196 Saturn V? Yeah.
Go on, tell them all about it, Phil.
I did it as a live build. As I say, it's a shame we don't do YouTube more often, but I did do it as a full live build. I did it over the entire, in real time for the Apollo mission. So I started it at the launch and we finished it when it splashed down. So I actually did build it. And yeah, what a nice kit. Jesus. You know. It amazed me, you get a giant box and we did it. And it was like, where is it? I thought I'd been short shipped. Well, I opened it up and it was like literally a couple of plastic rings and that was it. And it was like, so where the frickin' hell's me kit? And it was like, no, that's it. So you get plastic cards. You have to roll it up and make a tube. But I actually did do, we did it as a full live build and all the rest of it. I don't know if where have I got it? I don't know. Hold on, let me check. I've got to try and find it. I don't know if I put it in the normal stuff. No, live stuff. It means it'll be in the forum. Hold on 1 second. I'll see if I've got a photo of it. Where are we? Video builds. Right, talk about yourselves a sec. Hold on. Takes a while to find a minute.
Roger says, can't get my message through to Matt. Expecting Roger to contact you about anything, Matt?
Has he PM me? I don't know. I've not seen anything.
PM him, Roger, or if you don't
Put
mind
it in the
posting on it,
sales
post on
app.
it, we'll...
Put it in the sales at email, because if it goes in the other one, it just gets absolutely buried. So the sales at pmmodelsuk.com one is the better one to get me on.
Yes, there it is. Look, this
It
is
says,
the build.
even if-
That's a lot, isn't it?
But look at that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Look, just like the real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I put
And
pictures
it is
at
at
the
the
end?
shop.
Hold on, this is all your. I don't know if I put up photos at the end. I can't remember.
Well, you hijacked somebody else's thread.
No. This is everyone hijacking my thread.
Oh, see, right. Okay.
I don't know. I thought I might have put some pictures at the end, but I can't remember if we actually did do photos at the end.
Don't know.
Probably not. I don't think we did. Don't think I actually got that far.
Oh, right.
There's a lot of reference stuff we were using for absolutely everything. There we go. That was the last one of it. The last 2 hour thing. Let me just mute that. This is where we were going around trying to mask it up for the tail. This is me yapping clearly. What was I doing? Oh, that's it. It's when we used. Ron did the stencils for me. Look, I was even in civvies.
Because that's a bit casual.
It was hot that summer. Look, I got me fan.
It was, wasn't it?
Actually, I remember doing that. We had a really hot week that week. I was actually sweating to death in there doing all that. But there we go. I couldn't fit it all in one. But yes, there we go. It was a good old time. Well done, everybody. That was really good because we also, if you haven't seen it, we had the audio running in real time as well from the shuttle, and we got all the links for this as well. So we actually started it. I think, where is it? Down the bottom of all of this. There we go. We got the links for it. So that's all the bits of information we used on it as well for doing it. But it was a good show. Hold on, if we got the thing. This was the last one. This is when we were doing the engines and putting it together. There it is. I had it in all its subcomponents and everything. So yes. Because if you remember, I actually put it together, then almost dropped it. That's a bit of a heart stopper at the end because it all went flying. I thought, I know, I'll show it together. I was just trying to see where it is when I had it together, showing people, and then I almost dropped the bloody thing. So yes, very good. But no, lots of fun with that one.
I've got to admit, I've nearly knocked it over once as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's up at the store now where everyone. I'm literally waiting for somebody to whack it. And it goes. But no, to be honest with you, the kit is terrible.
The tails aren't exactly strong, are they? And it's a bit.
I'm amazed
It's on a bit.
So yes.
Just quickie, Matt. Keith says, even if you haven't, if you can't ship his order, you can still invoice him anyway.
Yeah, like I say, I'll find out what's going off, and that can go by courier anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem because it's too big to provide raw mail. That would be a courier. Just obviously, I've not been at work today. Just to bear in mind as well, while I'm thinking, because my daughter's off and my wife's self-employed, so we are taking it in turns to do sort of teaching, like I say, PE, entertaining her, because I can't leave it all to Leslie to do. She'll go out round the bend. So it's I'll be in and out as and when. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hence while I'm here in the shed rather than at work today.
Yeah, he's hiding in the shed instead of being at work.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right, another quick question. Have we ever done ships?
Sorry.
I said, yes, look, we do ships. Well, we've done one ship. Well, we have done a few bits and pieces. Did a submarine. So, yes, we did this one. This is the Wasp. The trouble is I don't tend to do them purely because they take so long. They are a long commitment to actually do these as a video build. And as you know, I try and do sort of, 1 or 2 a month. So, but when you're into the realms of doing something like this, it does take quite a bit of time. And obviously we put lights in this as well and various bits and pieces. So consequently, it's one of those commitments to them. So I don't tend to do many ships, to be honest. We've got Stefan on the site who does amazing ships. He's done lots of stuff like the Bismarck. He's done, loads and loads and loads of stuff. So, check Stefan's out. He's far better at it than me as well. I tend to just fudge it, as clearly you can see. So, but yes, lots of photo etch and stuff. Look, we did all the lights with it as well. So we drilled it all out internally to give it lights. Look, nice lights inside. And it still works. I've turned it on the other day. I'm amazed the battery still goes. So, yes, very nice, but yes.
Yeah. Quite a few guys on the site do ships as well, don't they?
Yes,
Like you said,
we've got lots of us who do ships.
Not my thing, ships, I'm afraid. No. I admire when they're done and who do them. Kudos to you, but I ain't got patience for a ship. No chance.
We got one down here and it's saying about any views on the 1/48 scale B17 from Hong Kong models. I've got it there. I quite like it. I think it's nice. I haven't built it. I've reviewed it. It looks to be very, very nice. And to be honest, it's the best in scale. So you have got it as your option, unless you want to do the monogram one. Good luck. But yeah, it's a shame it's limiting things like the engine detail, but that's been taken care of. You get aftermarket ones now. All the bits I said in the review, because I had it when it was fresh, it was brand new, there wasn't any aftermarket available for it now, but now the aftermarket guys have jumped on it. You can get all the bits which it really needs, because to be honest with you, it's not the sharpest kit, but it's a big kit, and for the money I think it's ideal. So if you wanted to, you can add that little bit of detail to it, which I would go for, which is literally the engines. I think it needs the engine detail if nothing else, but the rest of it all looks very, very nice.
I've got one just up there.
Yes, look, we can do it as a buddy build.
Yeah.
Yeah, crack on.
Bagsy do the metal finish.
Get your rubber buff out.
Yeah, that's it, the rubber buff on there. That's right, I'll keep with using the AK Extremes, I think.
I reckon. Good choice. Mind you, it's going to take a few bottles of that in it, one of them.
Yes, I think it probably would. Be nice though, I must admit. That's why I said about it, and everyone at the time was like, really? You're going to do it? And I was like, I'd like to do that one. I must admit, you might see that one this year. Phil, what is the demographic on the website members? Average age, male to female ratio? Ooh, God, I don't know without looking it up. Females, to be honest, we're very low on females. I think we've got about 5% from that point of view. I think it's about 4 point something percent from that one. And the average age demographic is it's 45 is the peak. It sort of peaks up to 45 years old. So yes, we're all old. I like to know. I'm in that peak.
I'm past my peak.
Yeah, you're downhill. Yeah. You're down, going down. But yeah, I think when I looked at it a few weeks ago, I was going through it, and it does. We've got, I think it's the average sort of thing is about 45 on there. That's the peak age and all the rest of it. And then male to female, I think it's running at about 4 point something percent. if it's right, because again, you know, people might not say they're female, so you never know.
Neil says, just go to a model show for the answer of demographics.
Yeah.
But we've
It is
said
a
that
hobby.
because when we've been to shows on the continent, you see a lot more females, don't you?
Yes.
We've said it's a
You
UK
do.
thing, because you go to a model show on the continent and there's a lot more females there, you know, than you get over at the UK ones. So
To be fair though, you'd have to have, saying this very PC-like, more than two genres for people to fit into.
would you like to explain that more?
Yeah, tell you what, let's sit back and watch him
Let's
dig an hole
see him
for
hang
himself,
himself
yeah.
on
This
this
is gonna be
one.
good
I'd just
to
like to
Give him
point
a
out the what is it they say? What people say may not be the company line. Just saying.
I was trying to be very PC about it.
Did do well, I tell you.
Rob McCluskey says he's a bird. That's that point.
There you go.
Quick point made.
Is he?
We know that.
Old crow.
I'll tell you what, where there is actually female modelers do I'm not saying excelling, that's a bit of a wrong thing to say, but it's figure painting and the
Yeah.
figure side of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them who do that and do it absolutely fantastic. They are brilliant, top
Definitely.
level artists, shall we say. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the demographics are changing these past couple of years, haven't they? They have started to open up a bit.
Yeah, and so it should. It should be for everybody, not just a male-dominated thing. It should be for anybody who wants to do it and be welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're very early.
I think people are getting into more craft-type hobbies over the past couple of years, so I think that's part of it, I think.
It's become cooler again.
Yes, yeah.
And,
it's not
from
based.
probably crossover from the wargaming side of it. And then, because they're obviously wargaming sort of like, what's the World War II one? There's one in the Rubicon do kits, I think, and there's somebody else. And there's now a lot of crossover, because they are model kits that you build, even though they're 1/43rd or they or whatever scale they are, 1/56, isn't it? But they're proper model kits. So you've got to build them, paint them, and weather them like you would a 135th tank or a 148th aircraft, whatever you're doing, and figures. So it's there. And same with Warhammer and stuff, isn't it? They're all kits now, plastic kits.
Yeah.
They all used to be like white metal, didn't they? And then and resin, and I know you get the bigger stuff resin, but you've still got to have the skills, the modelling skills to do them.
Yeah. So Darren's made a good point that there's a lot of female modelers on Instagram. Actually. So yeah, he's the fair point actually.
And YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. Good on them. Long may it continue.
Absolutely. StratoCat62 says, hello Phil and crew, do you know of any company who's ever released a new 1/48 scale B29? Can't believe it hasn't happened yet. It would be big, that's the trouble. Again, I always think the B29 is overlooked anyway.
Yeah. Did you say a new tooled one?
Yeah.
No, the only one was a monogram one from God knows when.
Yeah,
Give it a couple of
unfortunately.
years, I bet there'll be more.
Oh look, there's our glamorous assistant. How was shopping?
Survived.
You survived, did you?
I survived. I went outside. Oh my god.
You didn't get stopped and
nice and
arrested.
calm. There was food. Happy days.
Yes. But yes, I must admit, I think it's totally overlooked, that aircraft. It's one of those things. I think it's big, so even in 48 scale, it's going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah.
You know,
There isn't even much choice in 72nd, is there really?
you've got Academy.
Academy's the best one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Airfix
Academy's
did
the
one,
best
didn't
one.
they?
Then you got the old Airfix one.
Yeah.
And I think that is it.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's a bit criminal, really,
It is,
because
really.
it's quite an iconic aircraft, and
That's
there's
it.
2 in 72nd and 1 in 48.
It's all right. We're waiting for Zvezda to come out with the Russian copy one.
Yeah, the
copy one.
Tupolev. Yeah, the Tupolev one, yes. Because it was exactly the same as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just reverse engineered it, didn't
They
they?
even had
Yeah.
Boeing rudder pedals, wouldn't it? Because they even copied that.
Yeah. Yeah.
James said he did one in 30-second. That was huge.
Yeah.
Would that have been the HPH one?
Yeah.
I don't know, was it, or was it a Vaxon
wasn't
one?
it?
I was going to say, I don't think HPH did one. They did the Peacemaker, didn't they? Which like the 36.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But,
Which
but
is-
that's
Oh no,
in 48.
B17.
Yeah.
The B17.
Oh,
in this
32. That's
Yeah.
huge, isn't it?
You never know, hopefully somebody will.
I think it's on the. It must be on the sort of a few companies' radar to do one.
It's the size of it, though,
It
isn't it, and the
is.
price. I think that's probably why it's not been done again, because it is a big lump and it's going to cost something to tool it. Plus, as well, if you think about it, with all that nice glass front, you're going to have to put a decent cockpit in it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, because it is going to be seen. So you never know. Never say never.
No.
We'll see.
So yeah.
We've got what's that? Ribney has decided to get back into the hobby this week, having been collecting scale aircraft for the rainy day. But
And
I
that's
would
the
say
right
this
rainy
situation is a rainy day, definitely.
Say,
Definitely a rainy day, isn't it?
hey, I think it's more torrential than a rainy day.
Yeah, it's quite a downpour. Hello from Portugal. No problem at all,
Hello,
Tom.
Portugal. Hello.
How about getting
Matt.
Stefan to do a video build? Ask Stefan. Again, it's commitment. It's a hell of a commitment, isn't it, Nathan? Now you're learning it.
Yes, tend to spend. I think for every minute you're on camera, you're probably spending 2 or 3 editing or
Yeah.
Working it out,
reshooting.
that's
So, yeah. But
Matt
Well-
says, how do those rudder pedals go, Phil?
Hey, rudder pedals.
Don't know.
What, the Boeing ones on the Tupolev copy knockoff for the thingy, isn't it? It's got the Boeing symbol on the rudder pedals, isn't it? It's quite famous for it. That they copied it right the way down to
literally
the
just passed
Boeing,
it.
the Boeing's logo on the rudder pedals on the Boeing. If that's what he's on about, or is he talking about my model here where I never put rudder pedals in because you can't see them? So why would you do that?
He has a fair point.
I'm going to put a pilot in it. Is he going to see the rudder pedals? I think not. In fact, I don't think you're going to see the pilot in there once it's all in. You're not going to see anything in there.
Can you see your rudder pedals in your MiG?
No, and they've got photo etch straps and all sorts on them, but no.
Have they? That was time well spent. Are you going to have a pilot figure in it? I say the only time I ever do it is helicopters, or if it's a glass-fronted bomber. If, like there you go. If you were doing a B-29, you'd do that. You'd have them because you'd be able to see them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
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 Michael's posted a question. Michael Berry's posted a question, but I can't read it out.
Okay.
is it not politically correct?
No, it says, Nathan, the tornado show you're doing is brilliant.
No,
Thank you,
no, it is. I'm hoping I can retire.
You can notice he's had his head shaved so it can expand a bit.
So you get it in the door.
Look more slick on camera.
Have the ears lifted. That's all.
Shelton.
Phil says, question for Nathan, what manufacturer would you like to see produce a new tornado, and in what scale and mark?
Italeri, they've just done it.
Yeah. I mean, the Italeri 32 one looks nice from what I've seen so far. Obviously, they've shown a few pictures of the tooling now, haven't they? But
Yes.
I'm waiting for Airfix to do a GR4.
Do you know? Sorry, go on.
I kind of press them every time I see them, and obviously they're very, very good at not giving anything away. But I think it's in the Corgi range now.
Oh, so there's a link.
Obviously done a little. They've done a little bit of work on it, so I'm hoping. I can't say they will, but I'm hoping they'll do some nice 72 ones because the Revell 48 is it's as good as it's going to get, I think.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if Tamiya tackled it with their engineering?
Yeah.
No, it would be nice, but I don't know. I mean, it seems to be a really. I was surprised how popular Tornado's been I thought it was quite a niche subject, but it's actually really, really surprising how popular it's been, especially the retirement flyover thing that they did.
Yeah, ridiculous, wasn't it?
The kits sell out super fast when they're released, don't they? As we all well know.
Yeah. Especially certain boxing. But yes.
But I think it'd be an easy win for Airfix to do a GR4/GR1, and I think it'd sell. Hasegawa do a nice F3, so there's no need to do the F3 again. Well, my money's on Airfix.
Jamie says another F4 boring. Tamiya F3 all the way.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, is it on Tamiya's radar?
Probably not.
I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see the Italeri one be an absolute belter as well. That'd be nice. If it's in the standard of their recent Starfighter, that should be a belting kit.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's actually coming out, because it's been 3 years now, is it? Since it was
Something
first
like
announced.
that, yeah.
It's been a while, so yeah, they're obviously cracking on with it. So good. I hope they get it out by the end of the year, and it's a good kit. Are you going to build what?
Problem with the 32 is it's a bit big for me.
Yeah.
Moving a 32 scale model to a model show is awkward. I just think it does look like they've done all the flaps so you can deploy them, from what I've seen on the tools. But it's just not, to be honest, it's not my scale, so I'll probably leave that to somebody else to build.
What about you, Phil? Would you tackle it?
I probably would.
That's a no then.
Well, the thing is, I probably would do it because, again, I'm a fan of the aircraft. It's a bit like, I know all the rumours are back coming around again, because it does it every 6 months, about a certain company bringing out the 32nd Jaguar. And, we're into it again, and it comes around every 6 months. And again, I've said I would build it. And they're supposed to have got the thing for doing a 32nd Buccaneer as well. And you're thinking, it would be nice to have those, iconic British, being British, it's that thing, isn't it? You tend to build your own stuff. But it is that thing. The Tornado as well is a very pointy, very delicate geared aircraft. It's not like a Tomcat or a Phantom. It's quite gangly. It's going to break in transit. So taking it around the show circuit, it's going to need its own little bit of packaging to manoeuvre that thing round. It's tall as well with the tail. You can't put it in a box. The tail's going to be hanging out the top. Unless it's like Tamiya, like their F-16, where you can unplug it for transport purposes. That'd be handy, So, but yeah, I think it's one of those where I would love to do it, but it is a big aircraft and it's a big lump. It's going to take up a lot of room here. It's not so bad with us because we got the studio, and the mezzanine, and do it up there. But it's not going to fit in your standard cabinet. It's one of those ones which is, unless you do it as a wall hanger and do it like I do these and have them hanging off the wall, Yeah. Tricky, very tricky. You have to think how much room it's going to take up and stuff like that once it's been built, and it is going to be a big lump to do it. So we shall see.
Build time as well.
Say again.
It's the build time that you've got to invest in 32. It's not the sort of scale where you want to quickly whack it together, close everything up. You want to invest time in the cockpit, and
from a sort of a business, I suppose, point of view or whatever, I do actually think it's due for a new tool 72nd one, like you were saying, either by Airfix or somebody else. Because to be fair, like the Revel one, which is the best one, it's getting long in the tooth, and it's it does need an upgrade. Somebody needs to do it. So I won't be surprised if Airfix don't tackle it in the next couple of years.
I'll be surprised. I mean, Airfix seem to stay away from frontline in-service stuff. They've not done I know the Revell have done the Eurofighter, but now it's retired, I think maybe they'll release it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I might be wrong, it might be something to ask when Premjit comes on, but do Airfix stay away from aircraft that are on the news? Bombing places, for want of a better word.
Yeah. Play it safe. Yeah.
don't know. 'Cause it was involved quite heavily. I mean, that's the thing about the Tornado. It was in service for 30-something years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was on operations from Gulf War One right up to sort of Assyria and ISIS stuff, wasn't it? And it was. I just wondered if Airfix stay away from stuff like that. I don't know. Might be wrong.
On a similar vein, James says, will we ever see a 30-second Jaguar released?
Well, there you go. This rumour, I'm not going to say it because it just fuels the speculation, but there's a certain company who's been sitting on one now for the best part of 20 years. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, so where is it? It's been there, then it's moved to another company now, and now they've apparently got a bit of it, and it's apparently coming out, and you hear all these rumours, which I always take with a pinch of salt, but I've heard it's now being put back onto the forefront of the business, and we see it. I can't actually, the trouble with 30-second scale stuff now, if you look at the major players, they seem to be shying away from it, like Trumpeter. You know, they were knocking out 30-second stuff. Every other kit was coming out was 30-second, and now don't see anything from Trumpeter. You know, and it's like, you know, they seem to have gone back to 48 scale stuff or that sort of stuff they've been working on. Again, you know, with the cost of kits going up as they have been, it makes for an expensive kit. You know, we've seen Tamiya's prices of their 30-second stuff going through the frigging roof recently. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of the bigger players now are saying, do you know what, you know, that's just move away from that. It's a big investment. It's a lot of money sat on the shelf, you know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. If you want to shift kits, you're better off with the smaller scales because, like you say, it's a bit of a niche market because of the size. I think people like it, you know, when you see them at shows, it's sort of the magpie effect of all the 30-second stuff because it always looks nice, it's big, it's bold. But then the actual practicality of owning it, unless you've got a big house or a lot of space, I think that's the downside. Like you say, once you've built it, where do you put it?
yeah.
It's just an hindrance. It just gets in the way. You know what I mean? So
You're right.
you know, I think that's why there's been a big resurgence in sort of 70-second. Plus, as well, the tooling of it now and the detail you get in 70-second is far better than it's ever been. So, and it just seems to be getting better with every manufacturer's release of 70-second stuff as well. It can just be more interesting subjects as well. I think because obviously if you look at like some of the lesser companies, you do get some weird and wacky stuff that you're never going to get probably 48 for 30-second, definitely not 30-second, but 70-second seems to be a more manageable scale for them to tool it in.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
from a
I
cost
think really
point of view.
you've got a situation now where you get some companies tackle kits and you think that's a massive jump, for them to try and do it, like Fly doing the Wessex. You know, if somebody had said to me somebody was going to bring out a 30-second scale Wessex, you're like, really? Why? It's quite a niche helicopter-esque, especially in the version that they've done it, and stuff like that. So you're thinking, how many people are actually going to go out and do the 30-second scale Wessex? So, I thought you'd be more likely to see like a Sea King, because you've got options then for the different versions around the world. But a Wessex, you're like, okay, and they say the version that they did with that one, but I could never imagine Tamiya doing a Wessex. I can't imagine, even, Airfix to do, all right, I know it's not their scale, but a 24 scale Wessex, you're not going to see one. I know we've been joking about them doing a 48th one, clearly. But they've scuppered that idea as well, apparently, unless they're double bluffing us and they really are doing one. But after speaking to them, they were like, no, we had a good laugh about it. And we're like, really? But it could be a double bluff. I'm still holding that, we found their secret.
I think they'll do a 70-second one. I don't know.
Nice to
I'm
see.
you.
Yes.
I think it's on the cards.
A double bluff.
A double bluff. It's getting confusing now.
Well.
It's a bit like the third and fourth wall.
I think it's quite an iconic helicopter, to be honest. Especially for like sort of the Royal Navy and the RAF. As Andy will testify after being rattled round in one.
Scary things.
Massive mileage in the markings as well. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Loads of different markings and quite a few operators. Australia had them.
Yeah.
Amongst many others.
Yeah, exactly. I think you like I say, I think as well when companies do design kits or think about what they're going to manufacture, they are thinking of the mileage they can get out the mold.
Absolutely,
Whether
yeah.
it's decal options or marks of the different aircraft, or it's obviously there so they can utilise the full potential of what they're investing in. So I think that answers a lot of questions why you think like why didn't this come out or why is that not come out, or do you know what I mean? Because obviously there's not either the market they're thinking for it or there's not enough we can do out of the molds to get our money back and make profit. Business, isn't it?
It is.
Well, that's what we
So-
said about the Buccaneer, wasn't it? Is that the Buccaneer, everyone said about, 48 scale Buccaneer, and there is companies rumoured to be doing it, we know. But it's very difficult because from a sales point of view, and mileage, really, it's the UK and South Africa, and that was it. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's a famous aircraft worldwide. Most people probably never even heard of it, you know. So obviously you expect Airfix maybe to have a stab at it like they've done. But, you know, it's one of those things you wouldn't imagine Tamiya ever tackling a Buccaneer in 48 scale or anything bigger because it's not got the legs to be able to do it. At least when you're doing, you know, the things like Spitfires, Mustangs, stuff like that, you know, they're either strong home markets to be able to do it, or there's lots of versions, and we're seeing that obviously with Tamiya, with all the different versions of Spitfires and Mustangs coming down the line because they've got mileage out of that kit. And I think, again, we're in a different world that we were a few years ago now, you know. Luckily, though, we haven't been affected by the, you know, the sort of green movement saying you're using plastic. It needs to be made of paper and stuff, you know. That'll be next. It'll be sprues about for the environment.
Through some of these quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Some of these quickly. Darren says, "Go Nathan, his builds are awesome." Patrick says, "We'll be renaming the site to Nathan's Models then."
Yeah, that's it.
Carl says, "Howdy, gents." Dave says, "Phil and Matt, has anybody done another 148 B58 Hustler besides Monogram?"
No. No.
Too big.
Again, it's a bit of a niche aircraft, isn't it? I think as well.
Yeah.
So no, I know of.
Yeah. Mark says, "Love to see a Hustler." Matt says, "Airfix to tool a 24th Tornado." No. It costs hundreds, though, won't it? You know,
Yeah.
it costs you £200-300 to buy, and no one will buy it. Always say it looks like it's straight out of the Thunderbirds.
What, Tornado? Or the Hustler?
Darren says Nathan is an awesome builder.
Look at it.
You,
Oh, you're
you've
right,
got
man.
different
That's
accounts,
it.
Nathan. You posted on other people's accounts or something.
That's it,
I've hacked into 17 people's accounts as we speak.
Yeah,
All these
remote is
people
mod
with password 1,
privilege.
2, 3.
Where am I?
Lost
New
it,
tool 24th BF 109E3.
Again, it's a big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's always a controversial one. Another 109 kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd sell. You're
Yeah,
safe. If you're a
always
company,
do,
you are
don't they?
safe with a Spitfire and a 109. Or pretty much a 190, a 109, anything probably sort of German. You're pretty safe. It's going to sell, isn't it? Especially World War II.
Neil says Airfix did get into trouble for a bit from some people for doing Afghan kits. That was those
It's a diorama
buildings
stuff.
that did,
Diorama,
did,
buildings,
didn't they?
yeah, I know, but that was again from the Daily Mail, wasn't it?
I think that was the known news day at the Daily Mail, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah.
dredge that one up.
Exactly. Yeah.
James says Spitfire in 24th definitely retooling. G clamps, mold grips, oh my.
See, there you go. There's one here. Thomas says, is there any truth that there's going to be a new Airfix 1/24th scale Mark 9 Spitfire? Not that I've heard about.
That's new on me.
No.
That's new. But I must admit, although obviously we have Pranjit who works for Airfix, he still doesn't tell us everything or anything, to come to think of it. So
No, he's
quite
yeah,
frankly, we need to
lift,
kneel on
aren't
his
they?
chest and waterboard him. So, you know, get the thumb screws out. But
The thing is, though, do you know, like last year, you know, when everything got leaked, you know, when you don't know what's coming out, it's quite nice to be surprised rather than knowing 12 months in advance of what's coming out. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have that surprise, and to be honest with you, the internet sort of took that away a little bit, I think.
well, that's what we were saying. Do you remember years ago
social media,
when it used to be Suzuka, wasn't it? You get all the releases and you would wait for the show, because then all the manufacturers, the Far East manufacturers at Suzuka would do their releases for next year, and it would be like literally waiting for it. And then obviously Nuremberg would be like, you know, your sort of Revell and Airfix and everybody else, what their releases were going to be. But now you don't get it. It just dribbles out, you know?
Yeah. James says the 24th Hellcat was a hit for the company. Things they did it so it would play into the American market as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Would it been a US aircraft? And
I've given up talking about that because every time I talk, I get jumped on. God, it's terrible. You get all the haters and the rivet counters come out and say, "Oh, it was used here, there." Oh my God! I just simply said it's a limited market. That's all I said. Wait for it, it'll explode now on YouTube.
leave it, carry on.
Phil says, was there a 124th Jaguar? I'm sure I saw one in Hannant's warehouse many years ago.
Maybe it was some weird backform thing.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
might have
think
been
so.
a backformy thing going around, or somebody had made one up. But
I think someone was scratch building one once upon a time on Brit Modeler, either from a backform basic thing or completely scratch
Oh
built.
no, that was on large scale planes. I think somebody was, now you've mentioned it, but yeah, that was a ground up. You're starting from nothing to do it, wasn't it? I think.
I think so.
That's proper engineering and skills. That is so. But yes, I think there was a thread somewhere, like of somebody building one.
Darren says, need new tool Halifax in 72nd. I've got one of the Rebel doer.
yeah, Revel's got one out. I built it.
Yeah, but it's not quite there, is it? If that makes sense. If you're a bit
It's better than the Airfix one.
true, it's not as good as my Fondair's Miniatures 48th one.
Are you going to build it?
Nope.
James says it's a 30-second Seeking. That would be a dream kit. I mean, massive kit.
But blooming huge, wasn't it? You see, I'm a lesson now, because if you say you're going to build it and I say yes, I'll not hear the last of it, so no, I'm not building anything.
Malcolm says Halifax in 48th, please.
So, you can't get it.
Trump to do.
No, it's Wellington.
The Wellington.
Now, Halifax again is very overlooked, really, isn't it? I think again. I know that Revell's got their 72nd one, but I won't be surprised if Airfix don't do one. It's an iconic British heavy bomber, isn't it? It'd be, and Airfix do play to the home market pretty much. So, and they do, they do a good job, wouldn't they? There you go. There's the 32nd Wessex. That should have been 35th.
It should have been 35th. I have to agree. It's wrong.
I can't get my head around why they do it.
No.
Well, that's a question Lenny's posted. The next question, he says, do you think manufacturers could produce aircraft in 35th scale, slightly smaller than 32nd?
Yes. Yeah, because then you could have the crossover with figures and the armor, and you could do a lot more with it. Helicopters are a prime example of need to be in 35th and not 32nd, to me.
Yeah.
So,
David Pierce says, Phil or Matt, which of the 72nd B-17Gs is better, Hasegawa or Airfix?
Airfix.
Revel.
Airfix.
Revel.
Oh.
So I'm reminiscing with my Wessex. I enjoyed that build. Good build.
What would you say, Nathan?
I think it's kind of it's the hair's breadth, isn't it, between the Revell and the Airfix one, isn't it?
I'd say the Airfix.
Yeah. The Airfix
as the newest one.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do get a full interior with it. I know you
Yeah.
don't see it when you put it up, but you
Yeah.
do get a full interior. It's like Rick, who's building the Wellington for us for the shop.
Yeah.
He's like, it has got a full interior. It's unbelievable. And then you're button it up. It's a shame to cover it all up.
It's fair, it's the same with the Rebel one. That's got a full everything inside it as well. And like I say, you don't see any of it. So
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's tricky because are the Airfix ones better moulded? Is the plastic easier to work with? I don't know.
To be honest, I haven't built either, so I can't really comment. Somebody must have. Shout up who's ever built one.
so I've only built the Rebel one. Have I got?
I can say that the Airfix Heinkel 111 was an absolute dream build. It went together beautifully with a full interior. Because I'm wrestling with this Revell Tornado, and the biggest problem with that kit is flash. I didn't have that same problem with the Airfix one. The Airfix Heinkel built really, really, really well, and it's of a similar sort of age. It's recent, but I still think it's not like there's a country mile between them. Down to price and what's in your stash, I guess, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Again, because I mean, the Azagao kit must be knocking on a bit now. That must be 80s, is it? Would you say? It's definitely not a reboxing of the old Frog kit, is it? Did Frog ever do B70? I don't know if they did actually say that. They might not have done, but I'd avoid the Azagao one and probably either go for the Revell or the Airfix. I don't like to say.
The thing I always find between Airfix and Revell, you've got that thing that Revell's kit's going to be a bit flashy, and you normally get the little bit of fit issues with it if you are, as Nathan's proving perfectly with the Tornadoes, classic example of it. But I found that with the 32nd when I built that HE111. It's fine. It actually went together okay once you got past all the flash. But the thing is, I always say that Airfix, the panel lines are usually really heavily done. You don't get any riveting detail, and the surface detail isn't quite as refined as you find with Revell kits. That's the only thing. That's my little thing. But like we said before, if you then just do a little bit of work, perhaps with re-riveting, things like that, and whip around with a Rosie the Riveter around an Airfix kit, you could really make them shine, because you get all the best bits on the interior, and they're a lot easier to go together usually. So
I think
The Rebel B70 is not that old, is it? It's only a few years old.
I don't know. I bet it's about 10-year-old now.
Is it?
James in chat says he's built the Wellington and the B17G by Airfix, and both went together beautifully.
yeah,
I'm thinking, with the how they've designed the front end of the Airfix kit where it's the clear part, so you're not messing about with sort of little glass windows to put in. I don't know. Is that? I presume you have to do that with the Revell one, do you, Andy?
The front end.
Yeah.
It's one piece, I think.
What, in clear or?
In clear, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
right.
no, sorry, no. The actual nose ball bits.
No, I'm on about the side windows, because they've got windows running down the side, and the Airfix one comes as a panel that you slot in, and the glass is already in it, so you just mask off with your obviously your mask set,
bored.
and it's all flush. What I'm saying is that the windows then are flush, because you're not pushing them into the hole to do it.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember, to be honest with you. Can't remember.
Shells out the loop.
Shelf-big toilet.
Yeah, you want to leave that for a while.
And that's just live on YouTube.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
5,000 people have seen that.
Right, couple here. Phil, didn't you used to have a cat? I did, but unfortunately she died a couple of years ago. Daisy the cat, wasn't it? Your mate. Yes. Why are you here anyway? You're very early. Want to quickly say hello? Thought you might. Yes, unfortunately Daisy had a bit of a tumour, so we had to have Daisy put to sleep, didn't we? Your mate. Yes.
She used to walk on your fence, and that was like the fence top, and then there's like a beam, and she walked along it with one
leg up, one down.
Yeah. Yeah. She walked across the fence top.
I was going to say, Phil, she's not that early. It's 4:20.
Oh yeah, good point. So you're getting near time. You've got another 40 minutes, mate. You'll be fine. You can do this. We're all having to make sacrifices. You missing
Yeah.
dinner by 10 minutes will be one of them. Go. Question, Phil. Why don't you use AK Interactive's RC paint? Matthew, what's that?
Real colour.
Oh, real colour. Sorry, I'm thinking of radio control. There you go.
I know, I didn't.
Sorry, I was having a mental moment then. I have to say, I find it the same quality level as Tamiya. Very forgiving for people like me, not like a pro. I have used it. Yes, where have you been? I've got it here. Look, I used it on my book missile system build. Hold on, cue the picture. Oh, hold on, need to do that. Wait, where is it? Where's my book missile system? Here it is. Hold on, over to the web. You can see me spraying it in one of these pictures, I do believe, probably somewhere. There we go. This is it. This is what I used. Went down. I have to say, it sprayed beautifully. No clogging or spitting or anything whatsoever. And it went down an absolute treat. No problems at all. I really do like this stuff. The only thing I find as a downside, only a small part, is that it's incredibly flat. The stuff is literally like, this hasn't had a top coat. This was just it. Neat paint, weathering went all on it, and away we went. And it was incredibly flat finish. So if you're an aircraft modeler and you've got to do decaling, then you're going to need a lot of gloss coating to be able to decal on top of it. But from a paint point of view, no, I have to agree, went down really well. We had a bit of a thing, didn't we, at the time, because we were saying about when you look at the bottom of the pot, it looks like you're being shortchanged, but it turns out after many of our members did testing by decanting this stuff out and doing it, you do get actually 10mm, even though it doesn't look like it when you look at the bottom, because it's got a very large piece of glass, but it's still 10mm.
It's the size of the glass, isn't it, at
Yeah.
the bottom? Yeah. Or the thickness, should I say,
The
of the
thickness
glass.
of the glass,
at the bottom.
yeah, it's very, very thick on that. But yes, so we have used it. I do, it is great. Unfortunately, it's still limited on colours, so that's why I wouldn't be jumping down that road straight away. But as for use, yeah, I loved it. And I obviously freehand camoed everything, and not once did it stop, start, spit, clog, give me any problems. It flowed beautifully, and I used it with self-leveling thinners.
So I've used it and I found it went down lovely, to be honest. It's ideal for armour.
Yeah.
I've not used the aircraft sets yet, but yeah, it's really, really quite nice. Go on, Nathan, do the...
I still think you're better off with Hitaka because these paints are tougher. The only difference I've found between the two is the real colour paints are not as strong, so they scratch off or lift off a little. I mean, it's marginal, but I think the Hitaka paints, once that stuff's on your model, it is sticking. Whereas the real colour, you might... I've found it scratched off a little bit easier than the Hitaka.
Yeah, I must admit, for lack of paint, you know, I know we're biased because we sell it, but I do, the reason we sell it is because we use it. And I did say to the guys before we came on air, I've literally just painted this thing this morning, and I do enjoy spraying with it. This has got very fine detail on it, and now it's had a primer coat, and it's had, well, 3 coats, you know, with the top coat on here, and I can still see every rivet and detail on there. It's tough as nails, and to be honest, it's a good colour match, considering we were a little bit worried because we've done the decal bit for the tiger tail. Hold on, I can show you. I've got an overhead here somewhere on one of my many cameras. Where are we? Let's have that one. Sorry, Nathan, I'm just going to steal across you. There we go. And it goes on really very nice indeed. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
It's nice because it's satin as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Nice
that's the finish from
straight
it.
out the pot.
Yeah, straight out the pot. So it is a nice finish on it. So you can decal straight onto this. You know, that's the other thing as well. It's really nice, but hopefully you can see, I'm trying to catch it in the light. But the detail is all still there yet. This has had a pretty much hard life because it's been filled and everything right the way over it. But it's all coming there. It's all good, you know. So, yes.
It's I think the Hitaka's as easy to work with as Tamiya as well.
Yeah.
It's quite flexible in use. It's not.
It is that thing. I do like the combo, even though I do like the rapid thinners. You know, this particular one, because I wanted it to be deckled, and there's, to be honest, sheets of decals to go on this thing. I have used self-leveling thinners with it, and that as a combo with Hitaka lacquers Just works for me. Works no problem at all. I've never had a problem with it at all. You know, and okay, I must admit, I was doing a little bit of a side project a couple of weeks ago, and I was using a bit of Tamiya, and oh god, it was like Tamiya is my favourite paint of all time. I think it's lovely stuff. Don't get me wrong, and it's my go-to, and that's why I have it to hand right here. But I was using the acrylics, and I must admit, you forget the acrylics drying on the tip, and I was, you know, every now and again having to blow through, and I haven't done that for years. You know, but so I didn't have the colours. I've been using the Tamiya lacquers because I love those as well. They're really good. But I needed these colours, and it was like, bloody hell, tip dry. I haven't had that for a while. Like, I had to remember things like, oh, retarder. Should have put a drop of retarder in it. All these things which I've forgotten about a long time ago, you know. So it's proper old school going back to it. But it's still great stuff and still works really well. But I wouldn't swap out for it. It's just I didn't have the colours I needed. So all good. Right, do model clubs or businesses like yourself have any opportunity to influence companies to supply models that people would like to buy or build, I should say? I don't think so. We like to give them grief, to be honest, but you know, like I do have contact, obviously we do with Airfix, we do with Revell, we have done with various manufacturers, Kinetic for instance, I know Raymond very well, but I don't think they take any notice of us. You know, even with a group and an organisation like we've got, you know, we've sort of just shy of 3,000 members, things like that, and it is that thing where, you know, as a group sometimes we get opportunities to do various things and say, but I don't think we actually have any influence over a company. You know, maybe if 3,000 have said, could you build such and such, we put the money where the mouth is, somebody might bite a bit, but I don't know. You know, as I say, I think they definitely listen to us and they definitely watch us. There's no doubt about that at all. But do we have any influence? Not that I've ever known them to say, we've done it because of you. Never had that. Not that powerful. Yeah. I'm not Mig yet.
If you did, every company would have built a Buccaneer by now.
Well, yeah, this is true. Yeah, probably. But yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think we have any direct clout. I have, you know, spoken to companies. We have a great working relationship, and I'm not going to name drop, but with a few companies who, when there's been problems, they've been very good to us, especially to the Flory members. That we have a particular instance a couple of years ago. There was a problem with a particular product, and they replaced everybody's and gave them a load of freebies, and were fantastic about it. We've spoken to other companies when we've had troubles with colours of paint in the past. Some of them have been extremely good at fixing it. Others have buried their head in the sand. So it's, you know, it depends where we sort of go with it. But again, you know, companies I think are really, they know what they're doing. They've got their own way, and I don't think really us coming along saying you should be doing something else really would have an influence over it.
Michael Von Bell says the AKE colour aircraft line is satin, not matte like the arm colours.
All right. Okay.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. I haven't tried that. I've only done it on
I've got some AK real colour aircraft ones, but I've not tried them. And a quick question for Nathan. We can answer this one. Could be one for him. I'm going to need some World War One Luftwaffe paint for my Junkers D1 soon. Any recommendations? I didn't read the World War One bits.
I think it's only MRP that do it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm mindful of is the wingnut wings instructions. Even wingnut wings are not sure, so they always hedge their bets. So you're doing the Junkers D1, which wingnut wings do, isn't it? So, I mean, I would be tempted to follow what the wingnut wings instructions say, and I mean their research is second to none. And you're back into the old problem, aren't you? Of pictures are in black and white. There's like probably 3 pictures of it, but
I like it when wingnut wings colour callouts have a question mark, because when I built the wingnut wings Sopwith Camel, many of the screen colour callouts no problem at all, and then it just so happens the one I did's got a question mark, so they're not 100% if there is that colour. So I was like, well, there you go, that's their get out clause. It could be.
Yeah, so, I mean World War One, I daren't go against what Wing Not Wings say. Their research is just, I mean, it's amazing what they've done on the research side.
The thing is, at the end of the day, it must be nigh on impossible to find these things out to a letter, as in this is what it was painted in. You know, not being funny. World War One was a global war on an industrial scale. It was as fast as something can be built and got into the battlefield. That's what it needed to do. So I wouldn't have thought it needs to be this exact shade of this colour mattered at all. And I mean, to be fair, most of the Luftwaffe stuff were painted in proper gorgeous colours anyway for the flying circus, and do you know what I mean? And own individual aircraft and pilots, and it's interpretation, I think, isn't it? It's your own interpretation of what it could have been, because, like you say, unless you was literally around there at the time and you've seen it, there's no way you're going to know, is there?
No.
You're going to need a time machine to answer that question for any with any level of certainty, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Carl says drooling dog paints out of Czech.
It's a new one on me.
Yeah, then James says that Andy thought you might like to know, I have another Pro Convoy arriving tomorrow. Brilliant paintbrush, but I'm going to be a lot more gentle with this one when I'm titling my Mac valve.
Definitely. Be nice.
Yeah.
Mark's come back about this Wing Not Wings. He said the instructions say the body colour is red or black.
Yeah, to be honest, Wing Not Wings, they do that. I'd say I had it with mine. So I would literally, you take what you think from what information you found and just run with it. You know?
Just
the way I just say it, because I did it with mine, and I thought, well, look, if Wing Not Wings don't know, that's my get out clause. Because if they don't know, that means no one will know. So nobody can tell me I'm wrong. You know?
I'll paint it black and white.
Yeah, that's it.
You're really good
half and
close,
half.
isn't
Dave
it?
Mark
says,
says heard of drooling dog, but
sorry, go on.
So Mark says heard of drooling dog, but the lacquer or acrylic, and Carl says lacquer, but they stink like hell. Very good paint.
We are in an era of new paint manufacturers popping up left, right, and centre, aren't we?
Yes, they are everywhere. Dave says, Phil and gang, since I only use Tamiya paints for brush painting, can I add retarder straight into the bottle? You can, and they do their own one, which, to be honest, this is from Andy, who got me this bottle. And yes, this is, I need to move this over here. Hold on, I've got about 8 things. I'll tell you what, shortcut. There you go, use that one. Sorry, wrong way. Back to front and upside down. So yes, that's Tamiya's retarder. So
that's the acrylic one, isn't it? Where they also do a lacquer one, which we sell in the store, but works as well in their paints as that one does.
You can use other people's, but they make their own specific one for it. So, but say I've got a colleague of mine that known years, and he hand paints, and yeah, he hand paints Tamiya. Still don't know how he does it. It's a fine art to do that.
Yeah.
Peter says, so no Tamiya Buccaneer then? No, sorry, Pete. Was any tornado kept as a flying museum? Is there any taxiable? Like we've got Jags and Harriers that still taxi, don't we?
The one that was you showed the picture of, the Raspberry Ripple one, is being restored to hopefully taxable condition, but the tricky part is engines. But I mean, the Luftwaffe have got them as a flying museum, haven't they? So just go to Germany. You can see them at air show. You can't see them at air shows at the moment, but I think the problem with the British-based ones is the RAF, when they released aircraft to museums, they took the engines for the RTP.
All right.
A lot of them haven't got engines, and I think the engines are a bit pricey on eBay.
We've not thought of having a bid on one then.
Yeah, I might need to win a few lotteries all at once. But I think the Germans are going to keep them going for a long time. Think how long they kept the Phantom in service for. I I think you're still going to get to see flying tornadoes. Just have to maybe go to a European air show.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Germans do some good schemes on theirs.
They do.
Yeah.
That picture that's been posted recently with all the special ones, and it's also got the MiG on it as well, flying behind them. Was it posted on the forum, or I can't remember, forum or Facebook? I've seen that recently. And a cracking photo of all the special edition tornadoes they've got.
Are the Italians still using them?
Yes, they are. Yep.
They're not retiring them yet.
I mean, they're taking Have the Italians doing the F-35?
Don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Because the F-35 is the thing that's going to push the Tornado out of service, and the Germans haven't made their mind up yet, have they? On what?
Or have they? They might have done.
Have they? But I mean, the RAF have managed to replace the Tornado with the Typhoon and F-35, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Germans are going through an evaluation at the moment. I think, yeah. The Italians have got the F-35.
So, so they retired theirs, or they're retiring them?
You know what? I'm not sure. I just know the Germans have put theirs through a massive sort of upgrade program. So they're
Paul says Italians do have F-35s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
Italians might be the next ones to retire them then.
Yeah.
About the Saudis, to be honest, if they've still got them or not, I'm not sure. They do have the ground attack ones still, I think.
Richard says, crap, just found out of a missing part from a cheaper kit that I got from a show for $10. We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Is it
More than
scrap
one.
buildable?
Yeah. More.
Phil.
Paul
is there-
says,
Sorry, go on.
Paul says, Phil, can I use MRP Super Clear to apply decals over AK Real Colour paint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both lacquer based.
Yeah.
Won't make any difference if it was acrylic as long as it's dried.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, you'll be
And
fine.
James says, Phil has a wagging tail because Molly came behind you and wagging a tail.
Yeah, well, she's egging Lola on because
But to be honest, they were both having a punch up a minute ago. So one of you didn't hear it. They were just there by the door, and it's like if we make enough clatter and noise, he's going to have to come and see us. Quick one here because I'm not sure. Phil, is there any B29B Super Katacanos on the packet scale 172? I don't know. Anyone know of a B20? Sorry, an A29 Super Tucano in 72nd?
72nd. No, I tell you what, it's another aircraft that's very overlooked in all scales, really. I know, like this.
What did Airfix do? Did they do one?
Got an oldish one. It's not new. It's not that new.
No.
That's the old kit, that Tucano, and that wasn't their kit, I don't think, because it was recessed when they were all raised, because it's from, the late 80s, or, when we first got them, and I did try to build it, and it's not great. It's, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it was somebody else's kit. And then, I can't think of another one in 72nd at all.
I can't.
So, a company called Premier did one in 72nd, but again, I've never seen one, and I don't know
That's
how good
like
it is.
super short run, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Hobby Boss do 48 versions, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's that one Phil built, which is the Alicat Resin.
Yeah.
Well, that's the short Tucano, isn't it, with different engines?
Yeah, are you on about an Embraer one? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, don't know then. No, because the Airfix one was a short Tucano, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. No, then I don't.
We've also got, and if I put that there, sorry, I can show it here. This is Matthew was saying about the Airfix resin buildings. I'd like to see more of them when the wooers go away. This is one I used to take on the show circuit, demo the wash. That's grime wash. And then I think our black
Every
wash on the
got
roof.
different bits.
And then we got dark dirt round this side. It just so happens I had this out and doing various bits with it. But yeah, you should demo the wash on it for showing
Looks
it.
like it's been through about 5 apocalypses, that building, and
Yeah, it probably has now.
burnt down.
That's it. I did a
Abandoned.
demo about doing burnt bits as well, putting PVA glue and then mixing it in with pigment to give that sort of burnt-y, crispy look and stuff. So yeah, it's funny just mentioning that. I remembered it was behind me. So yes, had to be done, but they were good. Good solid bit of resin. Yeah,
The resin on there.
yeah, they're resin, but they're solid as proper chunky things. You know.
Yeah. Got
So-
good detail on them, haven't they?
It has, and that's the nice thing because it is like proper. You could then cut into it yourself and give it more if you wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought they were quite good.
Well,
These
they-
things.
Overlooked gem in their range. They do loads of
They
different.
do. I don't think they do
Yeah.
anymore.
They
They're stopping, have they?
I think they've stopped them. Yeah. I mean, you can obviously pick them up from places, but I think they're not in the range, or they've limited, shall we say? Because they did a load, didn't they? They brought like churches and I don't know, all sorts of stuff out. But yeah.
When Airfix only keep a very short range of kits current, don't they? And they drop off and then come back again 5 years later.
They do. Where is it?
So quick one for Matt. Matt says,
The tyres.
Keith says, Matt, did you get my email about the Dan Busters 30-second HK Lancaster? I got yours about handles for the Mark 1, but I prefer to give you and Phil my pennies than the big guy.
Right. Well, I'm a bit thingy for supplying at the minute, so you might have to hang on till this is blown over, and then we'll sort
Handles
it.
have flowed their
Yeah.
doors.
So, just as we was on about vintage catalogues, because we're going to that time of day, which one would we like to see today? The old Hella one or an old Esky one?
Ooh.
Post up now.
Not all answer at once.
Right, hold on. What I'm going to try and do is very cleverly, with the power of me sorting this out. Hold on, everyone. It's going to go a little bit black a sec, whilst I try and find Matt and try and bring him up full scale. So just bear with me.
They're all saying Esky, Matt.
Esky, Matt. Yeah.
Alright, hold on. I'll just see if I can put my overhead on.
Just
See
some
what comes
live behind the scenes tweaking going on.
Here we go.
Right, hold on. Don't do anything yet.
Hold on. Let's just try and take a bit of glare. Sorry, mate, I've got my overhead light here and it's going to glare off it a little bit. Sorry. Try and block it a bit. It's not going to work.
We're a bit 8-bit. Give it a sec.
God, that's very 8-bit. That's awful.
It is. I don't know if it's going to settle.
Doesn't look too bad.
Oh,
Oh, it's going to settle. I don't know. Hold on. Let me just crop a bit more. Oh shit! The wrong.
What year is that from, Matt?
1983.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Can you remember, look, the penguins. The Esky penguins. So, where shall we go? Let's have a look. God, I'm sure I've got most of them at my mum's in the loft. in a tub, in a plastic tub. The old bone bird, but they fetch some money. I wonder when Italy will re-release them.
Well, they will come along. A bit like their ships. They release them all the time.
Yeah, they are. They're always in production. Let's get to the vehicles. What want? The Jeep,
Mm-hmm.
the GMC. Oh, a train. That's a bit bizarre. What are them? Oh, they're 32nd.
All right.
I must be. Yeah, I didn't realise that. They're the ones. Can you remember them? The dioramas. We used to get everything.
Yeah.
They fetch an absolute fortune now if you've got them and they're complete. They're really collectible items. They did a load, didn't they? We used to get the vac form base.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Come to cars.
We're onto the cars. So the escorts are out, aren't they? Oh,
Yeah.
the Zack Speed one. Didn't release that one.
Hmm.
That's been released. The Golf. I forgot. That's coming out this year. The BMW M1.
About the Renault 5.
The Renault 5's out.
Oh, is
It's
it?
gone in shop. Yeah, that's in the shop. That's been re-released.
Oh, the G-Wagon, yeah.
That's been re-released. That one's been out. The Fiat's been out.
Yeah.
I say them two are coming out. The Mercedes 500 this year and the BMW M1. I ain't seen the Better yet. Hey look, the Quattro and the Classic. There you go. There's mine. Look. So yeah. Wonder when the Philippines taxi. Look, that's what we need. A Toyota. What else we got? They did quite a range of cars, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh look, the old 48th aircraft. There you go, Nath.
Oh, happy days. That's vintage now, Frankie.
I bet that's a lovely build. Yeah. Blimey. They did quite a range in 48, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than I thought they actually did.
Nigel says he read a review somewhere that made a point of saying it was pronounced Ishi.
Eshi in it.
No idea.
I just call it Eske.
Eske.
Yeah, I've always known it as Esky.
Tell you what, actually Google translated it from Italian to English. And I'm sure it is Eshi or something, yeah. So, the old 35th Armour they did, it's always getting reboxed, and the big stuff, which is back out again, isn't it? Through Italy. So, yeah. And say after this is all available from.
Basically, the Italy
I've
catalogue.
got that.
Yeah.
There you go, you think.
That's the best kit of the Tornado prototype you're ever going to get.
It's very basic, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Did you actually build a lot of Eshi kit then, your lot, when you were younger?
I didn't because it wasn't available near me.
I've not built many.
But our BT stacked with it, I think. BT's in Nottingham had loads.
Yeah.
That not for me. I've built them mainly as Italeri re-releases, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I was always Tamiya, to be honest with you, when I was.
See, you posh git.
Yeah, someone else.
Cool, you were lucky. Couldn't afford Tamiya. I lived in a cardboard box.
That's the other thing, if you remember, they used to do aftermarket decals.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah?
Yeah. But yeah, they're one of the few companies that did that.
Yeah, look at that. That's what we need for the shop lot.
Get one of them for the store. Yeah.
Yeah. Just shove them in. God, that'd be proper vintage. If anybody's got one, we'll have it off you, just for nostalgia. So yeah, there you go. That's the Eshi catalogue from 1983.
Rock and roll.
Some
More catalogues as we make it through the week.
Yeah. Or until I've run out.
We'll run out. Right, I've got a couple of questions just down in here. Where were we? I can't even pronounce that. Interesting show. What technique do you guys use for camouflage painting any model? Trust me, pop on the website. Have a look at the website, Flory Models website. Go into airbrushing, all the rest of it. There's absolutely tons of it in there about doing it. Some really basic to really complicated ways of doing it. But to explain it just here, it's a bit much. But we'll probably cover these things over the next few weeks. So stay with us. Children are creative.
Put your cap back. Still an overhead, Matt. Matt's still an overhead.
Oh,
That was an overhead. Right, how about a 148 scale Halifax? Who does the vacuform one of it?
Both what?
In there, there's a vacuform Halifax 48, isn't there?
No, the FM one which I've got is 48th one.
Well, the resin
Bondi
one.
Miniatures one.
Yeah, get a resin one. Then Airfix would have sold more if they'd done an F4U 124 scale Corsair. Trouble is you're up against Tamiya then, because Tamiya's got the 32nd one.
Well, that's they were originally planning to do the F4, weren't they? But because then Tamiya bought the 32nd one out,
Yeah.
that's fine. Then they switched over to a Hellcat,
Yes.
and that was the original plan, was to F4.
It is. Does anyone know if you can get a 148 scale chipmunk, not resin? Don't think so.
No,
I think I've seen someone mention it as a future release. That's a Scalemates question, that one. I've seen somebody's going to release a Chipmunk soon. I've forgotten the scale.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
know.
Aero Club did one back in the day.
Yeah. Quick question. I was going back up, just go back over it, but I totally agree, and I haven't thought of it till now, but it would be absolutely perfect. So if they do release it, we'll take kudos for this, you and whoever else mentioned it on the chat, Tamiya to do a Concorde. Can you imagine if Tamiya did a Concorde? It would make perfect sense, because it's on such an iconic aircraft. I reckon they'd do really well out of that. So I'm just going to put that out there as well. If they was to do, nothing stupid over the top, even if they did like a 72nd scale Concorde,
Yeah, 1144
or a 144, but I think that'd be too
200.
small for it. If you did it in 72nd, they could do it justice then. Have a droopy nose, bits and pieces going on. I reckon Tamiya, if Tamiya's listening, I think you should do that, because that is such an iconic aircraft that, yeah. And if Tamiya did it, they'd sell a bucket load of them. Anyway.
They won't get 20 mileage though out the moulds, would they?
Well, yeah, you are limited, admittedly, but it's such an iconic aircraft, I think it would be one of those that a lot of modelers would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, just putting that out there. 32nd, Fairy Firefly, Mark 5, please. That's from Kenneth. Revel have very heavy panel lines on the nose, with the instructions quite confusing with the part options. Marginally prefer the Airfix B17.
There you go.
That's from John. And they are clear panels on the Revel one as well.
Okay.
There really is this, the choice between them is really narrow then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That should be one of them head-to-head builds, just to, you know.
Yeah, I
if
think
you're
we need
into
to do
the
a head-to-head build
B17,
there.
do a head-to-head build and then give us your opinion.
That'd be a good topic to do that.
Oh yeah, because it's like the decal options are just endless, isn't it? Really, as well.
Yeah,
So you
it's
could just
super
pull sort of nose arts and either bare metal or olive drab and grey, or I don't know. Was the later ones olive drab or were they all bare metal? The G's.
Late ones were better, or the early ones were
bare
olive
metal,
drab.
weren't they? Yeah.
Did they do the funky colours with the formation? What do you call the aircraft that were designed to get everyone in formation?
Oh, the knackered ones that used to do. Yeah, I can't think what. Yeah.
They do-
The B24s were best. They did some brilliant ones for the yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
It's got a special name, hasn't it? The aircraft.
Yeah. There's a pink
Oh,
one
Just
with
formation
dots.
planes, weren't they?
Huh?
And just formation planes.
I don't know. I think there's a special name for the aircraft, but they all had like crazy spots and stripes
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah, they did. It's really bright. Yeah.
You're right, the Revel one came out in 2010.
There you go. 10-year-old.
There you
And
go.
how old's the Airfix one?
Probably 5 years after.
5 years. I think it's
Uh,
5 years. Watch it.
So Keith is calling out Tamiya for doing a 32 scale 109 or 190, and I think that's where everyone's expecting, isn't it?
Yeah, let's face it. We think I think they're lining up for after doing the 109 in 48th. I think they're lining up. They've got all the reference stuff. Just crying out for them to do a 32nd one.
Well,
it would fit
We've got
perfectly in there.
72nd and 48.
And obviously you get loads of mileage out of it. And then we're all moan that it's another 109.
Yeah, until you build it, and then it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their F14.
Mm.
You know, why do we need another one? And then you've built it, and it's like, yeah, it's brilliant. Same thing in it, usual with Tamiya. They're going to play it safe because of the market, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
Assembly ships.
assembly ship,
Assembly
that
ships,
was
that's
the
the
one.
ones.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get
Thanks
some
for
really
that.
nice options doing that one.
Really bright.
Right, John says 5,000 plus one. Don't get that. Okay, this lockdown, I knew this lockdown would happen. He's got himself the Italian Mercedes-Benz Actros. The MP4, I did the review of that, so it should be good. I'm going to keep watch your unboxing of it, and it looked great. Does look nice. Love to see some pictures of that thing done. Hi guys, I want to spray Tamiya LP Gloss White with a 0.2 needle in my airbrush. What ratio to thinning roughly should spray flawless? Thanks guys. Literally I say 60%. Keep your air pressure low and it will go down beautifully. A couple of coats and it'll do the job.
Yeah,
What do we reckon?
I'd go 70. I'd go 70-30.
You do 70-30 with thinner?
In 30% paint.
Yeah. But go on the thinner side. If you're going for gloss, always go for thinner paint than you would do thicker paint. But yeah, the stuff is beautiful. It goes down, but let it dry between coats.
Yes.
What is a good line for hand painting? Ooh. Go on, guys. You're more on this than me.
Well, as you can see, the
I've
layout.
got, well, you can can't. Well, I've got some as well, but
Yeah.
To be honest with you, depending on what you're hand painting, the AK stuff's nice. I'm not saying the new one. I've not tried that, the Gen 3 stuff, so I can't say. But the sort of figure painting sets, if you're doing them, are nice. Blimey, who else is one? The Scale 75 do paint sets depending on what you. It depends what you're painting, but really that's my go-to. I've seen model colour.
Model colour, Vallejo model colour. So
yeah,
with a little bit of retarder helps it, and a wet palette, isn't it, Matt? Show me your wet palette. No, you like to get it out.
A sandwich box.
Molly,
a bit of cleaning.
Thank you.
And
might need that box.
Parchment paper. There you go.
That's
wet
it.
palette.
Parchment
Lasts
paper.
for days. Yeah.
Apparently, Ulster Aviation Society have a Tornado GO4 on the way.
Ah,
So
very nice.
Very nice. Phil, could you send? Sorry.
It's supposed to be a really good museum. Actually, they've got a Canberra. I'm looking here. I've not been. Yeah.
Oh look, we would go over, but we can't now. We need a road trip. Phil, could you send me the link for the build for the Revell Saturn 5? Thanks. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll stick it out onto YouTube, so you can grab it off of there, because it's actually locked into the forum, that one. It's one of the sort of live build things we did, but I'll chuck it out as a bit of a freebie. I'll either do it today or tomorrow. I'll get that one sorted, because we need to rotate the ones that are out there anyway. Hi guys, can I use the Revell paint in little cans in my airbrush? If you mean decanting, then yes, just let it gas off. We often talk about gassing off here on this channel. Andy's forever gassing off, trust me. Jeez.
We do it frequently for 2 hours.
Cutting it with a knife. Anyway, yeah, obviously you can decant any paint. I've done it loads of times. Just make sure it totally gases off, and do not screw it in a lid and then put it in a glass jar or something, because it'll go bang. They're very volatile stuff, but yes, you can.
Or if it means the acrylic ones in the little square pots, the acrylic one, yes, but you need to thin them to within an inch of their life, because they are proper thick, aren't they, Nathan?
They're quite good for brush painting, actually.
They are, yeah, they are.
They're like, you need like 95% thin, as it feels like, because they're so gloopy.
Also, perhaps you might be thinking of tinlets as well.
Oh, the home roll tinlets.
Well, no, he's on about the Revell, because Revell do them as well, don't they?
Yeah, I've got some behind me in a drawer.
But yeah, you can do, but you need to thin them. So enamel thinners, because they'll be enamels. And again, it's that thing, getting your ratio right. Mix it externally. Don't put it in your colour cup. That's the ones. Don't put it in your colour cup. Mix it externally in a pot separately. Give it a damn good mix. Get your ratio sort of right in there. Then you go in your airbrush and then play with it a little bit till you get it as it goes. But yes, we were often discussing tinlets and doing things with them.
I've got drawers full of the blooming things.
It's quite a good one for all of us here. If you lost a bet and now could only use one brand of paint and one type for the next 2 months, which one would you choose and why? Andy.
One brand?
Yeah.
Attacker. Because they've got a massive selection of paints most of the things that I use, so attacker lacquer.
Right, Nathan?
I'm going to be the exact same answer. They're just the paint range is bang on what I like to model, and they're lovely to work with.
Right. Matthew?
Do you need to ask me really this?
To be honest, we're all biased because, as I say, we tested it thoroughly before we got involved with it and started selling it, and there's a good reason whilst we sell it because we all fell in love with it. But yeah, I would have to say Hataka, purely because, as I say, they do all the colours. Like, you know, I'm working on this MIG, they happen to do all the colours, which is handy. If you were just on about base colours, then I'd probably use Tamiya's LP's range. If you wanted just normal colours.
Do you know what, I was going to say that as an alternative, it would be the Tamiya LP range now, as I've used them for the past, obviously on the cars that I've been doing. They are just fantastic paints. I do hope I think they are expanding the range, but I do hope they actually do it to mirror most of the acrylic range.
I was going to say, if they mirrored the acrylic range, I tell you, it would be like the ultimate paint because it is really, really good stuff. I've been playing with it now for the last couple of years, and it really is very, very good stuff to spray.
If I couldn't get attacker, I'd go for guns. I think again because they're really nice to paint, easy to paint, and get a good selection of colours in them.
Yeah, it's a big range.
It is good.
Yeah.
Fair play.
We've got quick ones here. I'll just whip through these. Hi guys, I'm listening to you and your conversation. I'm curious, where do you display your finished models and who gets to see them the most, other than model and non-model and builders? Well, again, we're a bit biased because we've got our own store. They're all at the shop, in the showroom. We've got a mezzanine level upstairs.
I get to see them the most.
So Matt sees them the most because he's there all the time, so he gets to see the lot. But we've got an upstairs. There's photos online. Have a look at the well, for most people, easiest way is probably the Flory Models Facebook page. If not, I think the PM one. Did we ever put any onto that one? Pictures of the store and everything.
I
Don't know. Anyway, there's videos and there's all sorts going around the store of all the stock. But upstairs we've got a mezzanine level and it's just like a mini museum up there. And we do all the demos up there and all the bits and pieces as well. So that's where they all are, which is handy for me because I built some big stuff last year, like 72nd B52s, 72nd bloody Bear Bomber Tu-95. So here they hang on my wall, but when they're there, loads of space.
When we get a chance, I'll take some photos of all the upstairs kits and get them on the PM site.
Or do a vid and whack it on YouTube, innit?
Yeah, we can do a vid and walk around. There is videos to say I've done, but we need to do a fresh one because the last time I did one was a while ago. I did a walk around live things up there.
I think when we get out of this and we can get back in and rejuvenate the shop, because we're going to have a change around anyway, aren't we, of what's on display, because some of them have been there, but like for a year, or going to be pushing a year, so we want to try and keep it as fresh as we can, because obviously Phil builds a lot, so does Nathan, so does Andy, and you know, between us we can keep it quite fresh. So you're not, if you do come to the shop, you're not seeing the same kits as you seen last time, you know, or most of the kits that you seen last time. But I mean, when the shop is open and everything, people can come and view the display as well, really, because it's there for people to see, you know, so it's a public display.
It is. Apparently AGM Scale Models do a 1/72nd Super Tucano. So thank you, Philip, for that. And apparently Italy has had the F-35 since 2015.
All right, so they're quite early adopters then.
Yeah. Yeah. So
a couple of people saying they would have gone with Hataka as well. Just discovered Hataka's lovely paint, and huge amount of colours with Hataka.
Yeah,
cool.
It is. It's a vast range. Well, two racks full we've got.
Yeah.
And how tall are the racks, Andy? 5 foot?
Got to be 5 foot, yeah.
5 foot, yeah. Yeah, they do. They try and cover all bases, don't they?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it covers so well because I painted the entire of this underside and I used probably, I don't know, I seemed to tip a lot away, put it like that. But the top half doing all of this and around here and all the rest of it, I must have only used about 1.5 mil, because I made it very sparingly and I was amazed I had enough. It was that thing I was thinking, I should do more, but we'll give it a whirl. And it does. It covers really, really well and goes on forever. It's
they're
one
like
of those
a primer though, like a primer though, don't they?
Yeah,
They need
I
a
highly
primer.
recommend a primer. But
Yeah.
they do go very, very well. So
Especially if you're using their own lacquer thinners, because that is very mild for a lacquer
Yeah.
thinner. There's hardly any smell. So a primer is definitely
You
recommended
have
for
to,
that.
have to. I've done it without
Yeah.
and it's lift.
Yeah, well, Phil has as well, ain't you, when you did that little bone on it
yeah,
Yeah.
and it peeled.
yes,
But yeah,
yes, I must admit. But there we
That's
go.
nice.
Gives you an
Pink
idea
with
what
on
you're
the
going to
back
see
end.
tomorrow. This should be all tigery. So we've started on the tigery stripes on the back end. So hopefully by the time we're on tomorrow, it'll all be tigered. So that's the
But that
plan.
took some airbrushing, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Total freehand.
a lot of masking.
Thank God.
You,
It's weird though, it's still really hard to get your head round because the decals are back to front. Because normally it would be the darker colour, you know, for the decals, but actually it's the lighter, so you're putting them on back to front. If you know what I mean. It just seems an odd way of doing it, but it seems to be working. They're going on really well. I've had to tinge the colour though to get a perfect match, so we added a little bit of buff, and I think we've nailed it with the colour, so happy with that. But yes, so that'll
you
be on. So
decaling that
tomorrow,
tonight, then?
sorry?
Hey, are you carrying on decaling that tonight?
I don't know, might do. I've got to do a little bit more filming for the video for it, so I'll do a little bit on that just to talk about it, and then obviously I'll pile in. But to be honest, they're huge big decals, that's the nice thing to it. So you've only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it's done. Apart from then, if you do want to go down and stencil it. Yeah, right. So if you do want to go down the thing of stenciling it, then good luck with that one, because yes, there's quite a lot even for this one. So yes, should be fun.
Coach.
Lots of decals. Nice thing. Be all right. Anyway, are we done then? Any more from the other side, Andy?
Just quickie.
Yeah. Make it quick, my chili's ready.
Mark says, "Love Nathan's chair. Looks like it belonged to the hippies in the 70s."
It's IKEA, mate. It's
Yeah,
IKEA
everything
special.
in Nathan's is IKEA. He's in distress that they're closed.
that was, it got real when they shut IKEA. That thought, oh, it's not gone serious. Oh.
One of the guys says, Patrick says, "What time tomorrow?"
What time we doing tomorrow? 'Cause we are actually going to do some building.
Yes.
So, what time?
Don't know, 2 o'clock?
2 till 4?
4, yeah?
Couple of hours, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So we can do some.
And
Yeah,
then?
no. We can definitely do some stuff then.
I'll say a maybe because I don't know whether I'm working on it, do I?
So we'll see Andy tomorrow then, he'll be on.
Yeah, Andy will be on. Nathan will be on as well because
Got no choice.
that's it. They're all contracted.
Stuck
Yeah,
inside.
alright, we'll do 2 till 4 o'clock.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. So tomorrow we will be doing some building. So don't forget to like, thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell button, and that way you'll get notifications. If not, obviously, if you're on the Flory Models thing, that'll ping you a thing anyway. So you'll get one of those when we are live on air as we make our way through. But thank you very much to everybody for joining us this afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure as always. So we're going to keep these up, making our way along. Hopefully we will get some proper work done tomorrow. So we'll get some done. I've got my Buccaneer over there, so I'll probably prep that a little bit in the morning. So that's ready, so we can crack on with that one as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Everybody clear?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all good.
Andy's waving. That means we can go. Right, thank you very much for joining us. Happy modelling.
See you
Stay safe,
later.
everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.